See.
Dude.
Okay. Great response.
Finally.
Yes.
Like we talked
hello
on the
everyone.
last.
The Fab View, me and Piers here today. Again to review the match of Portugal, this time against Uzbekistan. 5-0 win for Portugal. Ronaldo scoring a brace. Mendes, Rafael Leão finished it, and in the middle there was an own goal, which a deflection with his heel from João Felix, I think, on a corner, and then the ball ends up hitting Kusanov. I think Kusanov was initially given the own goal, but then it was Nematov, the goalkeeper, that was actually given the own goal because he's the one that actually taps the ball inside. But Pires, thoughts? What did you think about today?
First of all, much more happier than the last time.
Yes. It wasn't hard, but yes.
We have to say that when we win, it's easier to talk, right?
Of course.
We can say we play well. It was a good game. Yeah, we score 5 games, and we dominate the game from the first minute to the last minute. That's no doubt about that, and that's the way that we want to play, and that's the way that we want to win. You are showing the matches.
Yep. This is the stats. So obviously, momentum on the left side. Uzbekistan had a little period after 2-0, but and they end up scoring on what could have been a mistake from Cancelo in an absolutely outstanding goal, but it is allowed because there is a foul on Cancelo. And then Portugal ends up finishing it up with a 3-0 and going to halftime 3-0 up, and then fourth goal, fifth goal. I think obviously the rhythm, the tempo decreased, but which is natural. 3-0 at halftime, you obviously don't expect the team to go. The same happened with Spain, for example, against Saudi, who also responded really well to a draw in the first game against Cape Verde, where first half they went absolute guns blazing. I think also 3-0 at halftime, and then in the second half they cruised, managed the game well, scored a couple more goals, and ended up winning that game. And the same happens to Portugal. But I think looking at this, you look at 17 shots, 37 touches in the opposition box. Those immediately are two stats that, quite frankly, are very good. If we open up and expand a little bit more, you look at other things, 7 clear-cut chances. I think Ronaldo had the opportunity to score an hat-trick here. Unfortunately, didn't do it, which is fine. It happens to anybody. He scored already 2 goals. And XG much better as well. So ultimately, a performance where you look at Portugal and you say, job well done, let's go to the next one, I think.
Yeah, let's do the same on the next.
Yeah, against a player.
Colombia.
Against Colombia, sorry, not a player. Against Colombia, a team that obviously is going to play later tonight. Against Congo. It's going to be an interesting game. I'm going to be watching that game for sure. But I wanted to as well bring a parallel to this game, and I'm going to bring it here. This is the stats for Congo on the game against Congo. It's like night and day. There is no comparison whatsoever between one game and the other game. We had 7 big chances to score today. On the game against Congo, we had 7 shots.
That's
the difference. That's the difference. We more than doubled the total amount of shots. We almost tripled the XG. Actually, we more than tripled the XG. It's a completely different performance. And when we look at the passes, less passes, far more accuracy, but also far more attacking-minded passes forward.
Completely different game.
We have 724
much more offensive
passes.
this time.
Yeah, we have 724 passes against Congo, where most of them are passes that make nothing happen.
Yeah.
So really happy. Yes, go on.
To the back.
Yeah, backwards and sideways. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. And obviously, it's one of those. I think we have to talk about Ronaldo, because Ronaldo got so much stick after the game, undeservedly so. Did not deserve at all to get that stick. but he did because
Yeah,
he's the best player, or he's the player with the biggest name in the Portuguese national team, and
yeah.
it's the easy target, I guess. And I wonder what they're going to say today, because scores 2 goals. I think that you look at the goal that Nuno Mendes scores is all about the fact that not all, but most of it is the fact that
Ronaldo
Ronaldo,
let him shot.
and the goalkeeper is clearly leaning to where Ronaldo would shoot the
Yeah,
ball. The
yeah, yeah,
shot is not good. The ball goes under the goalkeeper's arm. In fact, it's not
yeah.
going
But
on the bottom
it's
corner or anything.
the
But it's
surprise
just the
factor.
fact that there is a perception that Ronaldo is going to score, and it's the same. It's the same with the goal against Congo. João Neves appears in the game in that area by himself because there are two defenders worried about Ronaldo, pure and simple. So
Yeah,
Ronaldo is not the problem. Ronaldo is part of the solution. Now, is he going to be the solution by himself? Of course not. He's 41 years of age. He's not going to solve problems by himself. He needs a team, and the team today showed up. And in the game against Congo, they didn't. But what do you think especially about his playing time? Because he plays again the entire game. Do you have problems with that?
I guess we can offer opportunity to other players. And how can we say we have to make Ronaldo rest. We need him on from for the Colombia's game, and maybe in my opinion we have to give to Gonçalo Ramos, Gonçalo Guedes opportunity to play too, and the game. The result is done, and we can give opportunity to other and make him rest. That's my opinion.
I have two views on this. One, which is my own view of the situation, is that it shouldn't be done. I think Ronaldo scores two, has the opportunity to score an hat-trick in the first
Yeah,
half, ends up not scoring. And
sure.
one, he gets a little bit later to the cross. I think at the time he already had one goal. He was for his second goal, but still has two big chances. The second one is the last one where he chips the ball over the keeper and the defender clears it over the line. But had opportunities to score an hat-trick. I'm Martinez. I'm 3-0 up. I'm going to take him off at halftime. Job done. You're not going to lose this game. You're not going to enjoy this game. It's 3-0. Portugal is clearly on it. You bring a player like, I would say, for that particular situation, you probably bring Gonçalves as the forward, because even Ronaldo was moving a lot more in the second half than what he did in the first, because the game dictated that there was more space at times. And you bring Gonçalves gets in, gives Ronaldo a break, 45 minutes break, which with 2 goals, everybody's happy. And you give the opportunity for also some experience to see what happens when we have different players in those areas. We saw today with Trincão playing as the number 10.
Yeah,
Bruno dropping in, Vitinha being subbed. He was not happy for being subbed. I could see that, and I think we all could see it when he started shaking his head. But again, Bruno plays 90 minutes. I think poor game again. Set pieces, okay. One of the goals comes from his set piece. He does make an assist, but as well on the other goal in the first half. However, again, several times in set pieces, his set piece ends up in a transition play for the other team where the delivery is really poor. And I felt like up until the assist to Ronaldo, which is, by the way, an unbelievable pass, and that's what
yeah.
Bruno can do. But up until that point, probably Bruno is the worst player in the team up until that point, which says a lot. Again, he had a terrible performance, in my opinion, against Congo,
In the
and
first
today,
game, yeah,
up
yeah,
until that point, he's having a poor performance again. Very, very
yeah.
poor performance. And it's just what it is. But again, I wanted to show you something, and I'm going to share my screen again with you because this is the difference. I'm actually going to show you this first. This is the heat map of the first game against Congo, where you can see Ronaldo as much in the middle of the pitch as he was inside the box.
Yeah.
And today, this is the heat map of Ronaldo, where the vast majority of the time he spends when we are attacking, it's in central areas near the final third and a lot inside the box. And this is what Ronaldo has to be.
We talk about it last time.
Yes.
He has to play in that place. That's the place he has to be, and we win much more when he plays there.
Of course, of
It's
course.
that's no doubt about that, and we spoke about that, and that's for sure better for us, better for Portugal, and we can see it in the today's game.
But and I'm gonna ask you, why do you think there is this difference between one game and the other? Because you have, in one hand, you have this game against Congo where Ronaldo still shows up inside the box at times, but also shows a lot outside. And then you have a game like this today, which again more towards the left, which is the flank that he likes, but
Yeah,
even rarely in the middle, and mostly in the final third and inside the box. Why do you think it's such a big difference between one game and the other?
because in this game we have first of all we have Vitinha. He came to receive the ball in the middle in a sixth position, if I
Yep.
can say that. And Bruno appears much more times where he has to appear in the center of the game, and that and Ronaldo stays have to stay much more time in his position and waits for receive the ball.
Yeah, I think there is an aspect as well, which is you alluded to this, which is players are occupying the spaces better, which immediately trickles
Yeah,
up, and everybody occupies the space better because in the middle, the
yeah,
players that can make the difference are doing it, and
yeah,
it builds the team from the middle. It builds the team upwards and sideways. And I completely agree with you. Those two players, Vitinha and Bruno, are very important in that aspect as well, understanding what to do and where to be to make this team work. And it's a clear fact today that everybody benefited from that, and we end up winning the game, and winning the game comfortably, winning the game at halftime, and being able to rotate a little bit. Obviously, Ronaldo was not rotated, but other players were.
yeah.
Cancelo played half of the game. Looking at the subs here while we talk. So
Let
we
me
had,
say just one
yeah,
thing. Semedo appears very well again.
yeah, very well.
Okay,
Yeah,
I like it. Uh, I like the game that he played last time and this time.
yeah,
We spoke about that on the last time, and this time he do the same. Very well, play well, defensively on the defense on attack, and Francisco Conceição too.
yeah.
Great game.
For
Uh,
me, yesterday I had a podcast with Mr. Julio,
yeah,
which was our manager. Was my manager? Was he your coach as well at some point?
yeah, a few weeks.
Yeah,
Then we change it.
and I said this yesterday. I think Francisco has to be a player that comes from the bench because he's a player that brings so much energy. He's not a
Yeah,
player that decides very well, but when he's playing against teams that are already tired, he's an absolute terror because he doesn't stop running. It's like you just spent 45 minutes playing against Pedro Neto, and now he comes in. In comes Francisco
yeah,
Selecao, and it's like, poh, it's energy over energy. I want to talk about the subs. I think João Cancelo coming off for Nelson Smith makes sense. He gave he basically split the game, so Cancelo rested the second game, and
yeah,
Nunes rested the first. I don't see a problem with that. Nelson comes in, does the job again, and solidifies himself ahead of Mateus Nunes and Dalot as the clear option for the right side, which, for my opinion, is the correct option. Francisco as well comes into the right side. Question
yeah,
for me, I think that there could be a case made for Pedro Neto to still play, but on the left side, and maybe take off Bruno and Ronaldo. Uh,
yeah,
it's my opinion. I think at halftime, 3-0 up, you take Bruno and Ronaldo out.
yeah.
You put Pedro Neto on one
Gonçalves.
side, Francisco on the other side, João Felix behind whoever striker you bring,
Yeah,
which for me would have been Gedge. I don't know if you
yeah,
would.
yeah. Me too, me too.
Yeah, perfect. So there you go. And immediately, even when you make the sub for Trincão coming on for João Felix and playing him as a 10, is a straight swap because you're taking João Felix out who's already playing there. Then Bernardo for João Felix. I think this is what needs to happen. Bernardo can start on the bench and come in for one of the three players in the middle, ideally Vitinha or João Neves. Sorry,
Neves.
and then Rafael Leão comes in for Vitinha, where he changes a little bit. He brings Bruno down
Yeah.
to the center midfield, and Rafael ends up scoring a goal. Didn't look very good before that. He ends up even a play on the left side where
I
he has a
think
big.
I think if we forgot the or if we forget the game, the goal. Sorry.
Yeah.
He plays like the same way that he
Yeah.
plays the last game.
Yeah, there is a play on the left
Uh,
side where it's a 2v2 and he has Ronaldo and he has a touch inside towards the defender and he loses the ball. And
Yeah.
that was pretty much all he did. Very, very sloppy, very clumsy, and
Yeah.
looking like he has no confidence, but then scores a fantastic goal. Unopposed,
Yeah.
the free shot.
That's
But
unbelievable.
it is still a very good goal, a good finish to seal it, and it's going to be, at least it's going to be doing good for his confidence to score that goal.
We
And
hope.
to contribute. Are you disappointed? I don't know if you watched the game Uzbekistan against Colombia. I did. Are you disappointed in Uzbekistan? Do you think this was all about Portugal? Do you think Uzbekistan could or should have done better? What do you think there?
Between the two games,
Yeah, no, this game obviously in particular.
I think they should do better. They play so much more in the Colombia's game.
Yeah, I agree. When they had the ball, they were quite poor.
Yeah.
They were quite poor.
Yeah.
Well, when they had the ball against Colombia, they were very good at times. And
Yeah.
and today they were very
do
poor.
fantastic things against Colombia, and with us, I can remember for they score a fantastic goal. It was fault against Cancel, but it was a fantastic goal.
Yeah.
That's I think the unique thing that I remember.
Yeah, there is a transition play that the ball ends up going all the way to the left side inside the box, but he shoots straight at Diogo. No, there was nothing to be done there. I think it's a mixture of the two. I think Portugal comes in as they did against Congo, but then maintains it for a long stretch and score and continues to go. And it was an Uzbekistan that probably was a little bit scared of big bad Portugal coming on and having a reaction, and then dropped down a little bit too much towards their goal, and allowed Portugal to come in with a big impetus, but then obviously also allowed space. But nothing away to take away from Portugal, because I think we did exactly what we should have done, which is coming into this game with a killer mentality and go and win it.
Yeah.
Now Colombia. Next game, Colombia. Obviously, they haven't played yet against Congo. I have my idea about that game, but what do you think? What is your mindset right now in terms of Portugal going into that game?
Yeah, we have to do the same that we did in this game. We have to go stronger and do the same that we did. We can't let them play like we did in this game, and do the same. I think if we play the same way that we played today, we can do a good game.
Yeah, I have one concern about Portugal, and I will say, because at times when we lose the ball or we allow the other team to have the ball in the middle, I do think we lack a lot of aggressiveness. We're not being aggressive enough when we don't have the ball, and at times when the ball got there, it was too easy.
Why do you think this happened?
Because of the players that we have there. Bruno is not a player that is known for defending and being aggressive. Vitinha as well, and João. And this is why I think
50-50.
Bernardo, believe it or not being the most aggressive player, is a player that runs about a lot more without the ball. And I think that against a bigger side, Bernardo will play ahead of Vitinha. I really think this is going to happen, based on what I've seen so far of Vitinha coming out now for 2 games. I suspect, and this is a hot take, I'm not 100% sure that Vitinha is going to start the game against Colombia. I think that Bernard might start that game. I think
Okay,
that
because of the way that we need to play.
because of the way that of the things that we're not doing when we don't have the ball in the middle of the
Yeah.
pitch. When the other
Okay.
team has the ball in the middle of the pitch, we are not being aggressive enough. And I think Bernardo is going to bring a little bit more energy there. Obviously, we don't have the player that we should have, which is Palhinha. Palhinha is the player that we should have there, but this manager decided that was a good idea to not bring the only Portuguese midfielder that I can think of that is a decent level of physicality and aggressiveness. I don't think there's anybody like him right now with the Portuguese passport. And we didn't bring him, so now we need to find other solutions.
Okay, can I ask
Yeah.
you something?
Yeah.
Or two things in this case. Do you know why Tomás Araújo doesn't play?
He's injured.
Oh, okay.
So if you remember the game against Congo, there is a play where they thread the ball to Bakambu and he intercepts it.
Yeah.
But you could see that he felt something there. He played throughout the game, but he was declared injured as soon as the game was over. And Ruben was going to come anyway, and Ruben was going to start.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Ruben was going to start anyway, even if he was ready, he would start. But I tell you this, and again, I started the World Cup, or before the World Cup, thinking Renato and Ruben as a centre back pair. I am not as convinced after these two games that Renato is up to speed, because at times he does look a little bit suspect. And he has good moments, good physical moments, but then he has moments where he's a little bit soft and a little bit too lackadaisical, too relaxed. And Ruben showed this today. And Ruben is a phenomenal defender, a phenomenal leader as well.
Yeah.
Every time he went for a ball, he was like, he wanted to kill the man, and and that's what you have to do as a central defender. And he set the tone a little bit there, and I hope that Renato can learn from that in this World Cup, because we need it. Because we have three. Gonçalo Inácio, for me, when we play with two, he's not an option. He's too soft. He's a good central defender to have if you play on a three, because of the build up and all those things that he can do, the long passes as well. And he's a fast defender that can cover space, etc. On a two, I was like, did I see a case for Tomás Araújo to start on the left and Ruben Dias to start on the right? Maybe. Right now, it's probably one of the areas where I have the most questions is the centre-back pairing. I think everything else is starting to pan out. Net on the right, Felix on the left. Work today. I'm not sure he's going to work every game.
Yeah.
Could be a situation of Bruno a little bit more from the left and Felix behind the striker as well. Could happen. And have Mendes a lot more proactive offensively. But again, he's a little bit of a lot of questions still on the air. I still don't know. If I was to put the starting lineup for Colombia, I still have a lot of question marks. I still don't know. I don't have a team that I go 100%. This is the team that are going to start. And a lot of it's because of these things that we discussed.
Look to these two games. Do you still play? Do you still play with not Vitinha, not João Neves?
So Bruno was the other one?
Bruno. Yeah. Do you still play with Bruno?
I think it's difficult not to. It must, if you play without Bruno, and I'm not the biggest fan of Bruno. Yeah. But if you play without Bruno, you better be 100% sure of what you're doing. Because if you put Bruno on the bench and things don't work well, you lose the entire locker room, I think. And that's a big problem for me. I think Bruno has enough capital inside the changing room to... And I'm already seeing... I'm sure Cancelo was not happy to just play 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm sure that I know that Vitinha was not happy to be subbed again, because you could see the way they reacted.
You play football. I don't know any player who likes to just play 45 minutes.
But one thing is, the other is, I think Vitinha is starting to get a bit pissed off with because he was the one that didn't play the Nations League that we won. Yeah. By choice.
Yeah.
By choice. And I think it was the right decision at the time. And I still think there is a case, like I said before, to be made that it might also be the best, believe it or not, because of the personnel that we have, it might be the best decision for Vitinha not to play against the top teams and to put Bernardo instead.
Okay.
Not because of Vitinha, because of the way that we play and the players that we're playing.
Yeah.
Because I continue to see the same problem. I think Bruno today got out of the way and Vitinha was allowed to dictate more of what happened in the game with the ball. And it was part of the reason why we started so well. Because he had the ball higher on the pitch, not too high, but higher on the pitch. He was able to connect more. He was not building next to the central defenders. That's what I'm trying to say, like he was against Congo. He was building next to João Neves, next to Felix, who dropped in a few times as well. And I look at this team and go, I don't think that if we're going to continue to play 4-2-3-1, I honestly don't think Vitinha, and we have to start Bruno, I don't think Vitinha is the right player to play in the middle there. I think Vitinha is a phenomenal player. I think he's probably our best midfielder. Yeah. But if you're going to play him that deep and if you're going to have Bruno as well, then you have problems defensively. And if you have problems defensively against the bigger teams, you're going to be knocked out. And again, like I said, I think there is a case to be made that Bernard might start a game that is a little bit more physical, a game that is a little bit more, or requires a little bit more energy in the middle, because it's now 2 games where so many times our defensive transition is quite poor in terms of how we press the ball in the middle of the pitch. I don't think we pressed at all enough the ball in the middle of the pitch when we lost it in central areas. But I might be wrong. Now with 2 games, I don't think I am. And I think that's a problem that if Martinez goes back and watches this game and forgets the 5-0 and you're trying to see where we need to improve, I think that's clearly one of the areas. But I like to see João Felix and Ronaldo together.
Yeah, me too.
Felix is a phenomenal player, has a few details in this game that are outstanding quality. But now you have 3 players in Felix, Bruno, and Ronaldo who don't defend. I don't think it's going to be the recipe. I think if you're going to play Felix, and I think we should, it's without wingers and you play with 3 at the back. That's my idea, but we can speak about it another day to wrap up the video as well. I don't know if you have anything else to add from today, my brother.
No. We are happier to win the game. That's the final idea.
Absolutely.
And that's what we want. We play like we want to play and bring the points to home.
Absolutely. All right, my brother, thank you very much for joining me once again. Lovely to speak with you. And very soon we're going to start making these videos in Portuguese as well because of the Portuguese version.
Much more easier for me.
It's fine. I think you're doing a great job. And it brings a little je ne sais quoi to the channel, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'll see you soon and looking forward to it.
Yeah. Love you, brother.
Take care, brother.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.